Chris Cuomo, formerly of CNN, had a perfect opportunity and a perfect position to strike a blow against European white male patriarchy, and he failed. He chose not to do that, and it gets much deeper than that. One of the things that he had was a position of power at CNN, one of the biggest mainstream media sources across the world. He had an opportunity to speak out against these things that destroy the lives and harm the lives of women, of non-binary people, people in the LGBT community, trans people, and he didn't. He didn't take that opportunity. Even worse than that, he really retrenched himself into white male patriarchy. One of the things that he would do was when his brother came on, and yes, his brother is Andrew Cuomo, former governor of New York State, he would have these brotherly banters with him and, poke and jab at him, and lots of people said, oh, that's really fun. That's really great that these brothers can do this. But that time on CNN is very expensive. And for everyone else who might look at that, many people who look at that, including me, I think that's a completely privileged moment for white men to take that in that context. Another thing that he did, and it's the reason why I sometimes call CNN the Catholic News Network, is because when Pope Francis, Pope Frank as I call him, came to the United States to canonize the inquisitor, torturer, enslaver Junipero Serra, Chris Cuomo took at least a day to fawn over Pope Francis and to fawn over basically what is Christian and Roman Catholic privilege here in the United States settler colony. So hours and hours and hours he took about, kind of how he felt in his heart and what he thought about the Pope and how great the Pope was, even though he was coming to canonize an enslaver, a colonizer, albeit a Christian colonizer, and actually let's look into the history of that. But he didn't do any critique of what that meant, even though there were so many indigenous people who had actually even talked to the Vatican, had talked to the Pope, had presented their case as to why canonizing Junipero Serra is a completely negative and violent thing. But Chris Cuomo fell right into that, and he had the opportunity to do that. Now, fast forward to when Governor Andrew Cuomo at the time was under allegations of sexual harassment and sexual impropriety in his job as the governor. Again, another white privilege position for him. We found out that Chris Cuomo was assisting him in finding out information about the survivors that have made claims against him, made reports against Andrew Cuomo, and so he was actually working in the interest of rape culture, in the interest of European white male patriarchy at that moment, and again retrenching himself even more deeply into that system. And even after that, as they had suspended him for that impropriety and lack of journalistic ethics, bar none, we found out that he was also reported to have sexually harassed some of the workers that were there at CNN. So, so many people, I remember someone saying, oh, Chris Cuomo should be the president. Well, considering who was the last president of the United States settler colony, maybe that's appropriate. But we have to be able to look at these men in these positions of power, especially white men, and see what kinds of power they hold, what kinds of power they sustain, and that they benefit from. And clearly, Chris Cuomo had an opportunity to be a better man, but he actually showed up to be one of the worst. I think we need to talk about these things because we can't continue under this oppression of European white male patriarchy nor rape culture, and we have to deal with these issues. I'd love to talk to you about it. So yeah, let's talk.